packed video for you tonight, but I cannot go any further without saying a massive thank you to you, the viewers and the subscribers who have taken the channel way over the 1 million view mark. Absolutely over the moon to achieve this so quickly. I knew it was going to rise, obviously, with the daily vlogs that I've been doing all the way throughout January, but thanks to you guys for A, watching, and B, providing me with feedback on what you want to see, because without you telling me what you want to see, what you're interested in, I won't keep producing these videos. So that is going to go and take pride of place just there, at least until it reaches 2 million. Got loads to get through tonight, so this is the first Thursday night vlog I've done for a couple of weeks. There's been loads happening. I don't know about you guys, but everybody I know just seems to be so busy all the time. And when you're so busy with work, with fishing, with family, it's amazing when you look back sometimes. You sit down and have a cup of tea and just look back at what's been happening over the last few days, and it's just mental what's been going off. So what I'm going to do, give you a quick recap on what's happened over the last few days regarding me, and then I've got a few questions to answer, just ones that have just kept coming in and coming in and coming in, and then just a quick look about some of the events that we've got coming up over the next few weeks, and then news on a brand new competition that I know a lot of you feed wranglers are going to be interested to hear about. Okay, the first bit about news is, I don't want to go down the avenue of selling to you guys, but I know a lot of you are really interested in the kit and the bait that I use. So, and you obviously know that I'm connected with a couple of companies as regards sponsorship deals. So I'm just going to quickly cap over them for you because I know you're interested. Last week, the Fox International, apologies for the rubbish printout, Fox International catalogue came out. I'll put the link below for you. That shows you all the new products that are coming out. Matrix, this is an even worse printout, but there you go. The lovely Craig Butterfield on the cover. The new Matrix catalogue's out. The link is below for you. So all the products I'm going to be using are in those catalogues. Take a look, links are below. And finally, Bait Tech. The catalogue is due out, I believe, next week. So I'll let you know about that as soon as it's out, because a lot of you know that I've been trying out and we've been prototyping lots of new products over the last few weeks. And obviously they're going to be coming out onto the market hopefully from next week, so I'll put a link below for that for you as well. Well, obviously a couple of weeks ago I qualified for the Golden Rod qualifier, which is fantastic. That's freed up a lot of dates, and yes, a lot of you have been asking. I have sold all the tickets that I did have. I didn't have too many anyway, to be fair, but they have all gone now. So that's freed up lots of dates, which is brilliant. Obviously some of those have been taken up with other competitions, but that's freed up some dates for some of the coaching days that I've been doing, and just the general fishing days, which have been brilliant because I've got an opportunity to meet a lot of you guys, and you've had a chance just to kind of just have a face-to-face conversation about kit and about the way that I do things, and just bounce ideas off each other. But those coaching days have been brilliant, so I've got a lot of those booked in, which is great. Nothing on this weekend really. I've got some video and some media work to be doing, and for myself, for Bait Tech and for Matrix, but the week after then is all about round 5 of the Feeder Masters Pairs winter competition that we've been competing in. Anybody interested in that who isn't up to speed on it, I did a video on that the other day after round 4, so I'll get you bang up to speed. Link below. And so next week is going to be all about leading up to that on the Sunday. Alright, so I've been having loads of questions coming in again, and you know, like I've said before, the questions that come into me, it's just, I'm not an expert on anything of it, you know, any of these subjects. All it is people like to know my opinion and what I've done in the past and what's worked for me and what hasn't worked for me. So it's just me giving feedback about some of these questions that I've been asked. Okay, they're going to be quick fire questions because I know a lot of people want to watch these videos really for a bit of entertainment and stuff, so I'll just quickly run over them, because don't forget on Friday night is the 4-minute Friday. That's tomorrow, and there's another one on the last Friday of the month where it's just 4 minutes answering all these questions. So they're your questions that you've asked, so don't forget to log on for that tomorrow night. I'll quickly go through these now. Hi Jamie, how do you find out about all the websites that you're fishing? Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a video in January. It's going to be from this tattle room basically, but it's just a video about all the different websites that I'm connected with that tells me about the matches that are upcoming, and you know, it'll just basically be a list of links to all these websites and what competitions they are connected to. So I know that video is not going to be for everybody, but there are a lot of people that want to get on these competitions that I'm fishing, and that is the way I do it, and I can only do that in just one proper video just for that subject. It's the only way I can do it justice for you. Next one is, can you suggest any Tangle-Free feeder rigs? I have done one quick, very quick, it's only about 2 minutes long video about 2 of the rigs that I use, which are very tangle-free. Link below for you. But what I have got planned is I'm going to do a video that is covering the 5 rigs that I will use across different venues, natural venues, commercials, commercials with certain rules, and rivers. 5 rigs, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it in a way so that there isn't any talking in it, very little text, just so it's nice and simple, because I know there's a lot of people out there within Europe that don't speak English, and I speak very quick, I know I do, and it might just be easier for you guys to follow regardless of the language that you speak. So I want to do that in a really nice way, but that is going to be on before the end of January. I've been struggling missed bites. Do you think it could be down to my tip selection as regards carbon? I'll be totally honest about it. I've give very little thought these days. I do occasionally, but most of the time, if not all the time, I'm using carbon quiver tips. If I'm missing bites, I never really put it down to the material that the tip is made out of. I'm not saying that's not an issue, it could be, but I haven't had the time on the bank to experiment between the different materials, between fiberglass and carbon tips. I have used both, and I do still use both occasionally, but I haven't had time to sit down on the bank and try and figure out what might be best for certain scenarios regarding hitting bites. For me, hitting bites can be any one of several reasons, and in a match, if that's what you're struggling for, or a session, it's a process of elimination, unfortunately. Sometimes, I mean, sometimes you might guess right first time and it might be the first solution you come to. Sometimes it might be the second or third. It could be the amount of bait that you're feeding, it could be the weight of your feeder, it could be the length of the hook length, it could be the size of the hook, it could be just something as simple as the way that you're setting your tip. You know, sometimes slack lining works where there's no pressure on the tip at all. Sometimes you've got to bend your tip right round to the feeder. There's all different, you know, variables that it could be, and sometimes it's just trial and error. There's no one answer, so that is something that you can only really find out on the bank. But for me, I always use carbon tips. What would be your favourite starting hook length? Get asked that hell of a lot. 50 centimetres. Rigs for weedy venues. Can you recommend any rigs for weedy venues? Again, this is a subject like the tips. I haven't had the opportunity to spend hours and hours on weedy venues where I can just experiment with different rigs, different setups about what might be better for combating weed. I just haven't, and obviously I'm no expert on that, and I probably never will be. There are all sorts of rigs you can look at, obviously things like that. If you're going to delve into that deeply, probably one of the best things I could possibly say to you is something that I did about a year ago, is just go out and buy a carp rig book. It was one of the best things I ever did, because all it does, it goes through all the different rigs that the carp lads use, and they obviously have got loads of different rigs for tackling such scenarios as that. But for me, in a match, if weed is a problem and I'm fishing obviously the feeder for bream, skimmers, carp, if it's a problem, I just about always go down the method route. If it's allowed, obviously I will fish a method, because your method's sitting like that. Obviously it might be on weed, it might be in the hole in the weed, but your bait is buried in the ground bait or the pellets, what you've got in that feeder, so it means your bait is always fishing, you know. And you know, I've got to admit, I haven't been in that scenario and that situation very often, probably only a couple of times, and you know, I would go down the method route just purely for confidence. Can you tell me what size reel you use with your Fox Warrior feeding rod? It doesn't really matter. I mean, most of the time I'll use a 5000, the Aqua's 5000, but it's really just about where you're casting with it. Simple as that. It's just you're casting the feeder out. So just think about how you would change your feeder to how you would be casting a feeder out that you're fishing with. So if I'm only feeding, you know, a pole 15 metre line or a 20 metre line like I do with the 11-foot version, then just a 4000 reel will do that easily. But obviously, you know, the 12-foot Warrior that I use as a feeding rod, you know, that is designed for casting a long way. So if you're going to be doing that, then just make the job easier for yourself and use a 5000 reel or the 5500. You know, you're casting the feeder out, there's no difference from the actual rod that you're fishing with. So if you're going further out, use a bigger reel. But if you're just feeding a short line like a 15 or a 20 metre line, a 4000's perfect. When you're fishing the feeder, if you're not getting any bites, do you ever switch to a bomb or do you ever go past your feed? Firstly, I've got to say, I'm old school. You know, I was brought up on natural venues, probably one of the last generations to have been brought up on natural venues that's also seen commercials from their beginning, if you want to put it that way. Yes, putting a bomb on can always get you bites, of course it can, especially in winter when it's hard. Even places in Ireland, you know, sometimes that will work. Just clipping a bomb on will get you to fish. The biggest thing I've got to say to you is the vast majority of the feeder venues that we now fish, sorry, the feeder events that we now fish, don't allow you to do that. They are feeder only, so that is not an option. So that's something that I probably hardly ever do now, purely because it's hardly ever allowed. So no, most of the time I don't put a bomb on because it's not allowed. And do you ever go past your feed? Yes, I do. I try and do that in a controlled way. I don't, by that I mean, you know, I wouldn't really want to be doing that in the first hour of a match. You know, it's something that you tend to kind of leave till the later stages of a match, because obviously by going past your feed with a full feeder, you're spreading your bait out, and if you do that early on in the match, it's easy to lose your way, you know, and lose your plan. So yes, going past, I do it a hell of a lot. Right, that's enough of the questions. I know a lot of you probably weren't interested in any of those questions, but obviously those questions have been asked by some of the viewers, so hopefully some of those just getting you a bit of an insight into what I've seen and witnessed and experienced myself. So thanks for sending those in, I really appreciate it. There are some tomorrow night in the 4-Minute Friday, so don't miss those, because those again are questions that, a lot of questions that you guys have asked. Okay, so I've got a bit of news about a brand new feeder competition that a lot of you people probably don't even know about yet. I only found out about it yesterday, and to be quite honest with you, unless my boss tells me I've got to go part-time, I probably won't be fishing them either. The interesting thing is they're going to be run on Wednesdays, which, you know, for those of you that know Southfield, it's got a very good following on Wednesdays. You know, there's a lot of people there that work part-time, work funny shift hours. A lot of the lads are retired, which is the great thing about feeder fishing, especially for bream. You know, you don't exactly need to be a young spring chicken to fish like that, and that's why it's such a great leveler and you get such a great mix of lads. These qualifiers are going to be ran on Wednesdays. Sorry, I've got to read this because I've only just found out about it. There's going to be a series of qualifiers. It's not a series, it's just qualifiers, individual matches, where if sold out, 3 qualifiers from each match are going to qualify for a grand final, which is going to be in September the 26th. I've been told there are only going to be 30 anglers in that final, and the winner will walk away with a mind-numbing £9,000. I can't believe it. For a series of matches that's going to be run on Wednesdays, it's just unbelievable, and it just shows that what we predicted 3-4 years ago about how the world would go feeder freaky, it's just proving again that there's such demand for it. So I can't give you all the rules and stuff because I don't want to bore you to death, but what I will do, I'll put a link below for you. DAA rules, just at Southfield, the guys that know Southfield, it's going to be run to their rules. I'll put a link below for you to the Doncaster website, and what I'll also do is the tickets are going to go on sale on the 23rd of January at 8 o'clock, and they are only going to be available through the New Fish Southfield Reservoir Facebook page. So a lot of you already know about that because you're on Facebook. For the lads that aren't on Facebook and not connected social media wise, I'll put a link below to that page for you. The organisers, I'm understanding it's going to be Andy Renton and Mick Haxon. Apologies if anyone else is involved in that. I don't really know who is, but it just shows the kind of enthusiasm and the fantastic work that they're doing at Southfield, and it's fantastic that a venue like that's got such a high demand. So yeah, £9,000 to the winner. There's going to be a second place paid out, a third place, and then after that I think it's section prizes in that final. I think the total pot for the grand final is £18,000. So how about that for a midweek competition? Right, well that's enough rambling for you. Hope tonight's been of interest to some of you, or if not, just a little bit of entertainment on a Thursday night. Tomorrow is Friday. I can't believe how quick the weeks are going. The weather's been a bit rough again, so hopefully it's going to get a little bit better this weekend and improve sport for some of us. I'm out on Saturday and Sunday doing a spot of filming. I was fortunate enough to get out last week with Craig Butterfield from Matrix, and it was at Hallcroft, interestingly enough, which is where I've been spending quite a bit of time. And I wouldn't be doing my job for you, would I, if I didn't take the camera along? So here's a bit of a video diary of the day for you, just so you can get a bit of a taster about what I get up to on my days off. Well, it's just turned 8 o'clock and most of the lakes are frozen by the looks of it. It's not even daylight yet, so it's hard to tell, but there's a little bit of clear water. This is Bridge Pool. Not sure what peg number this one is. There's a bit of clear water here and just a bit of cat ice, I think, so this might have to be the spot. Everywhere is frozen. Like I say, it was nowhere near as cold last night, but hopefully we just need to find a nice clear spot just to get some fishing done. Well, that's it, just waiting for Craig now. It's coming daylight. Just thought I'd have a quick nosy in the tattle shop, just to show you what the venue's like these days. Great to see the rules clearly displayed. There's no problems then, is there? Well, the light's going again. It's only 2:30. I've had a few fish. It's been a good test. It's been great to see Craig. Done quite a bit of filming. I'll let you know when this video's finished. Obviously, Craig's putting that together. That's for Matrix. It's one of their mini masterclasses. But yeah, a lot of the ice is gone now. Had a few fish. Job done. Just to get my kit packed away. I've got a match this weekend, so I'm just going to take my time, pack it away, so I don't have to bother with it too much when I get home. And that's it. We're back on here next match on Sunday for round 4 of the Feeder Masters pairs competition. So yeah, I'm going to get packed up, get back in the traffic, get back to Sheffield, get some food. It's freezing right now. But yeah, really good session. I think I'm a little bit jinxed when it comes to going out and doing features with Craig Butterfield. The first one I ever went on with him, it probably is about a year ago, and that was at Lindholme Lakes. We went to do a feeder fishing venue, and about how you can fish snake lakes when the wind's bad and you just cannot present a pole properly or a pole rig properly, you know. So I was going to go there and just show a nice little feeder approach, obviously with a little 8-foot little pig rod, about casting, you know, to the far bank and down the middle, and that. It froze over. I couldn't believe it. So we finished up with icebreakers, breaking the ice. So we cut a big hole in the ice and finished up fishing a feeder up to the edge of the ice. Incredible. And so obviously for that to happen again, it was just a little bit unfortunate, but Hallcroft didn't disappoint. We were filming the next mini masterclass series, so what I'll do is when that's released, when Craig's put it all together and it's uploaded, I'll let you know about that so you can watch that. And that's just basically about how I approach venues when they're clear in winter. It's going to be hard, you're just fishing for a bite kind of thing. Very, very relevant to this kind of this time of year, especially this week. So I'll let you know when that's uploaded. Well, thanks again for logging on tonight. I really appreciate it. I know a lot of you like the Thursday night vlogs. It just kind of breaks your week up and it just kind of gives you a bit of a taster for the weekend to go out and do what we all love and just talk about and go fishing. I've got some footage coming from the bank for you next week. So I'm out this weekend doing some filming. So apologies if there's been a lot of action only coming from the tattle room, but that's just because obviously around work and stuff, this is all I've been able to do. But it's given me a great opportunity to answer some of your questions and just cover some of the subjects that I know a lot of you are interested in. Well, don't forget, tomorrow is Friday. It's 4-Minute Friday, where I've got 4 minutes to answer some of the questions that you've sent in, just sharing some of the experiences and some of the ideas and some of the things that I've witnessed and learnt, and just obviously being honest about that there's just as many things out there that baffle me as what they do you. So have a fantastic weekend. Don't forget, tomorrow 6:30, and there's still a video every night through January. Get subscribed if you haven't already, and then you'll be kept in the loop with all the future videos, and I'm sure there's going to be even more exciting things coming through February. So thanks for watching, really appreciate it. Enjoy your Friday and hope to see some of you the weekend. If not, be safe, wrap up warm, and I hope you bag up. Thanks for watching.